All right. Let's do a little trade breakdown here. Call this out in the commentary. I'm not able to be live this week, so I figured I'd do a little bit here with this trade review. Start off right off the bat. You have your 8 o'clock range here, right? This 1 minute candle was 8:30 highs to lows. 8 o'clock open was right around here. It put in the low and the high of the 8 a.m. range, right? So I always, with these big news candles, I always wait for one side to sweep. So if you're trading the 9 a.m. reversal, this was a great area to do so. On the 1 hour, you had this fair value gap right in here. This is the 9 a.m. candle, taps into that fair value gap and then starts to reverse. If you wanted to take this trade, there was an S&T from here to here on ES. If you take a look, ES had not taken the data low here, right? So a 9 a.m. reversal play would have been probably somewhere, I would say you could have got in here when this order block closed and retapped, or if you want to be a little bit more aggressive, you had this inverted fair value gap right in here. That was the first one that formed. This was all pretty much balanced price action. It left the gap there, reversed it, and targeting the highs. Now, the reason why I didn't take this trade was because we had pretty much done enough damage to the upside. If you look at the 4 hour here, right, we came all the way through and pretty much took out all of this liquidity here. I had this liquidity marked out last Friday. If you were in the live with me, I had red lines here. People were asking me what the red lines were. That's essentially what it was. We ripped through that. We did a lot of damage there. So I wanted to see how we react on the way up here. We started to get rejections. And coming into the 50% of that range, it was around 10:45. I saw this spike into here, and I sent into the commentary that I'm taking a short right at 84.25. Right after the sweep happened, and then we started to get the rejection. I liked how we closed below these candles here, right? These candles here, we closed below. We were coming back into that range, and I targeted 60 points down to back into that fair value gap, right? So that was essentially what I was thinking, that we'd reject off of here. Also, why I like that trade as well is because we still hadn't taken the 830 low here on ES. So I anticipated price to push lower since we did all the damage to the highs, and now ES is, as I'm talking, taking that data low. So with that all being in front of me here, knowing that ES was still open, I thought we'd have a nice push down, and that's exactly what we got. So my anticipation is they will most likely leave these highs open going into what do you call it? We had PPI today, and then we have CPI tomorrow. So I believe we might get a push down, flush out some more of these lows going into CPI. There's relative equal lows here as well. So I'm thinking maybe we get like a big dump down into this range, into this new week opening gap, and then we start to rally and take over these highs. That's what I'm thinking can happen, and that's what I'm anticipating. No more trades for me. I thought about potentially taking another trade here until the ES take out the data lows, but we had a nice trade here. It was a small size. I was only at one mini contract here, so that was about $1,200. Usually I'm trading 2 to 3, but anyways, that 50% retracement, and it reacted beautifully. You could have won also if you did take a long here. Was a nice trade. You would have gotten about 50 points out of that. Stops below the low, 2 to 1, 1 to 2. So two potentially great trades using the 9 a.m. reversal model, and then anticipating 50% of the range, and it pushed further down. So we'll see what happens here. We might touch this new day opening gap, push a little lower, but that is the trade recap for today.